Welcome to my journey with Paula G, where we juggle this journey called life while walking in the gifts and the talents that God has given us. We appreciate you tuning in each and every week. And if this is your first time on the journey, we welcome you, we welcome you, we welcome you. And we're so glad that you have joined us. If you're returning, welcome back. It's good to see you. And I hope all is well with each and every one of you. We want to thank our underwriters for my journey with Paula G because without our underwriters, this would not be possible. And we truly, truly appreciate their support. And if you're interested in being an underwriter for my journey with Paula G, you can reach out to Jerry Royce Live at jerryroycelive@gmail.com or Paula at paulagvoice.com. You all know I start this show each and every week with time is precious. And with the season that we've come through and we're still coming through, we also have learned just how precious life is. Your time is precious. Your life is precious. And for you to think it not robbery to spend this time with us is truly, truly appreciated. So we thank you so very much for being on the journey and we appreciate you tuning in. We want to make sure that you check us out on social media, paulagvoice.com across all social media platforms, paulagvoice.com, and you can email me at paula at paulagvoice.com. I would love to hear from you. Well, today we have a guest that we're really excited about, and this gentleman, wow, when I read his bio, I was like, I cannot wait to talk to him because he has established himself in the real estate world, self-educated on personal finance and credit. He is here to share his journey with us from homeless to a millionaire. I think I'm gonna take some notes. You know how sometimes I tell y'all to get a paper and pencil and take some notes? You might want to reach for paper and pencil and take some notes. I'm just saying, I'm just saying. He's an author. He's a motivational speaker. He's a financial strategist. He is Mr. Will Roundtree. And welcome, welcome, welcome to my journey with Paula G.
Hey, how you doing, Paula? Thank you. Extremely excited, very humbled to be on the show with you. So thank you.
Oh, well, we certainly appreciate having you. So, our show is about juggling this journey called life while you're walking in the gifts and the talents that God has given you. So, share with us a bit of your journey and how you juggled that journey while walking in the gifts and the talents that God gave you, and the gifts and talents that perhaps you didn't realize you had, but you were able to kind of plant a seed and watch them grow. So, share with us a little bit.
Absolutely. So for those who don't know me, my name is Will Roundtree, originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hmm.
I currently now live in Las Vegas, Nevada. Been here for about 16 years. And how I got here, started off just like how most of us were taught: go to
Hmm.
school, get good
Hmm.
grades, get that good
Hmm.
job.
Hmm.
Found out that that wasn't in my cards of life.
Mm,
And so attempted to go through school, found out it wasn't for me. Ended up dropping out of college about a year and a half into college. Aimlessly going through life, started working in corporate America, was
mhm,
at that company for about 8 years, thought I was going to retire there, get my pension, have a gold watch. And about 8 years into that job, the company just abruptly shut down. And they have been
mhm,
in business over 75 years. But I often say that was the best thing that happened to me because that's how I got into entrepreneurship. And so, kind of fast forward from
mhm,
that journey of entrepreneurship in 2003, 2005, I had a mentor who said, Will, eventually credit will become the new dollar. Didn't know what he meant by that. Moved to Las Vegas in 2005, quickly found out, Paula, what that meant. Can't rent an apartment with bad credit unless you're putting 3 times the deposit down. Can't buy a vehicle without a cosigner or a hefty down payment and paying 29% interest rate. My auto insurance is high. And so I remember going back to that thing he said about credit, took it upon myself to really educate myself and found out that we've been asleep at the wheel on some information about the power of credit, the power of finances, the power of money, and just really how to leverage it, just like the wealthy have been doing. And so, from that standpoint, after my own personal experiences of seeing how it can help benefit and give you options in life, I really say, you know what, I want to go out here and share this information because from the communities I came from, we were not taught this information. In my household, we didn't sit around talking about money and generational wealth and legacy and real estate. So I said, you know what? instead of being a complainer about what we lack, let me be a solution and become a voice for the voiceless in this particular industry. And so for the past 6 years, literally have just been traveling the country, giving information and educating people on the power of credit.
Wow, wow, that is, that is such a journey. And I have a platform which is entitled the Mindset Journey. It's a 5-week course, and I say we unlock the negative mindset, and create a new narrative. And it sounds like that's exactly what you did, realizing, that the situation that you were in, and where you were was just not conducive for you at the time, and there were some changes that you had to make, and you moved forward to make those particular changes. And I know in your bio it says that you are self-educated on
Yes.
personal finance and credit. Now, I've read books and I've watched YouTube videos, and some of that is just so overwhelming. I'm like, good gosh, he was self-taught. How did you consume all of that, and comprehend it and understand all of that? So share with us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I think you hit the nail on the head when you talked about mindset. And for anyone who's ever been to any of my workshops or
Mhm.
any of my conferences where I speak at, that's the number one thing that I touch on, Paula, is that when you change your thinking, that's when you'll become successful. Because it's about, like, becoming successful in any area of life can be
Mhm.
easy, but
Mhm.
there are going to be obstacles, and having that different mindset shift is how you overcome those obstacles. How do you deal with the lonely nights and the sleepless nights and the lack of support, the obstacles of possibly failing? And that's why that mindset piece is crucially important. And then to understand how I was able to consume so much information. One, I was hungry. I had a burning desire. I was willing to put the work in. And more importantly, even though I may not have the formal education, I never let schooling get in the way of my education. So, yes, traditional school may not have been my path, but I never stopped educating myself. And a lot of it is through experience. So, and then of course, I continue to invest in myself, invest in mentorship, invest in courses, invest in books, going to workshops, and listening to YouTube University. And so, just always finding different ways to constantly feed my mind, because as I often say, when your wallet feeds your mind will continue to pour back into your wallet.
And that's, it's so huge, because a lot of times people, they want the step by step. How did you do it? What was the first thing you did in the second? They want all of these details. But the bottom line, just as you said, is the mindset, and you have to be hungry for it and willing to do the work. That was the thing when you said that you got to be willing to do the work, whatever that looks like, whatever that takes, and whatever you have to navigate. And you mentioned all those different platforms and outlets that you had to utilize. And I'm sure some of them you probably went on and it was like, maybe I can't quite understand this one, so I need to move on to another one. And really, it's a matter of navigating through to find out, what you're able to grasp and understand and learn. And you're right, that mindset of constantly being a student, even though it might not be in the traditional environment, but the willingness, the hunger, the drive, and the desire to do the work as well. So
Absolutely.
that is huge. That is really huge. So talk to me a little bit about 50 Men Barbershop Tour.
Yes, absolutely. So I remember one day watching The Shop with LeBron James online, and I
Mhm.
kind of got an idea of saying, you know what, the barbershop is like the mecca for us in the community. That's, our barbers are our counselors, there
Mhm.
are marriage counselors, there are doctors. We get all of our advice from our barbers and beauticians. And so I said, what better way for me to be able to go into the community and share information about money, about credit, about entrepreneurship, because everybody goes to the barbershop or the
Mhm.
beauty salon. And so that was one of the reasons I did that, because my thing is about meeting people where they are. I can't always assume I can put up an event and people are going to come. Sometimes I have to go to the people. And so that was the main reason I did that. It took off like wildfire. Barbershops literally started, reaching out to me, requesting that I come out to their shop, and they started making it into a production. They're ordering food and putting out flyers. I mean, it became fun because you got the barbers there, you have the clients who literally will stop getting their haircut listening. You got women who were bringing their children, so now they're excited. The kids are there, they're learning new information, and so it was something that was near and dear to me, and I continue to do that all the way up until the pandemic. But it's something that we're definitely getting back into the swing of, and I will continue to do it because the barbershops and the salons are the mecca of the communities.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for those who may not be familiar with that mecca and that culture, would you not say that in every barbershop there's probably that same maybe 3, 4, 5 older gentlemen been coming in there back in the corner, maybe playing
Right.
dominoes, maybe checkers, maybe chess, I don't know.
They don't even get a haircut half the time. They're just there.
They're just there and everybody knows them, right?
Everybody knows. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, that I mean, that was brilliant to, think of that and think of that, being the central point of the community and everyone being. I can remember as a little girl, my father taking me to when he had to go get his hair cut. My mother had something else to do, and I'd have to sit there, my little legs be swinging from the chair. I think we've all kind of processed through the barbershop beauty shop
Absolutely.
at some point in time or another. So, you're on this journey, realizing the need to be financially savvy, realizing the need to learn, to educate. You educated yourself, and then you've done one of the most beautiful things. You've taken what you have learned and now are sharing, really a ministry, sharing it with the community and coming up with ingenious ways to share it with the community. We just talked about 50 Men Barbershop, and then also you have a corner class tour.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, almost kind of the same concept,
Uh-huh.
except, we would go to different communities in neighborhoods that one may think like, I'm not sure if it's safe to go there, but they literally will welcome us with open arms. And we're literally on the corner doing free workshops. I'm outside, I have a whiteboard and people are asking questions. And I remember being in one city, I think it was in Chicago, and there was so many people outside. The helicopters were out, the police came out, and once they found out what we were doing, I mean, they started calling other people to come out and just participate, because it was so powerful to see so many Black and brown people outside. There's no violence. People are asking questions. People are out there with their babies, their spouses, and just to be able to get access to information that I know they probably are not getting at the dinner table in their homes or in the community colleges or in their local, churches or mosques. And so, yeah, again, just a way for us to be able to meet people where they are. And that was main reason behind doing that as well.
And again, just, ingenious. I'm calling it ingenious, coming up with these creative ways. We're in the barbershop. Then we're the corner class. So even, and I would dare say, capturing not two totally different audiences, but capturing two audiences that for one reason or another may not necessarily be in the other environment or cross into the other, the other environment. So we're on the corner, we're in the barbershop, and then we go to cocktails and CREDT. So you're just getting it all.
Trying to hit every angle, Paula G. So the cocktails and CREDT started off kind of the exact same concept, but then of course that's a different type of demographic. You have some people who love networking events. So I say, I want to put a spin on it, because some networking events can get boring. You go there, you meet some people and you leave with nothing. And so I wanted to put my spin on it, and kind of alluding to what you touched on, finances and credit and all of that stuff being a little bit intimidating. And so I wanted to kind of bridge the gap with education and entertainment. So I decided, let's go into the lounges. Let's make it very informal. We have food, we have a DJ at the end, but in the midst of the networking, which I let that go on for about 45 minutes, then the second half of that, I'm actually teaching inside of a lounge And a lot of times with the lounges, we negotiate to have custom drinks that are fitting to the theme, and just really again a way to
Hmm.
bridge the gap to get access to people who again otherwise may not feel comfortable talking about credit, talking about finances, talking about real estate, talking about business. So my whole thing is really making it almost impossible for anyone to come up with an excuse saying they can't get access to the information because we're bringing it to you.
Hmm.
And so that's the
Mm.
whole purpose of why we started that event.
Oh gosh. And then, eh, you know, if that wasn't enough, you're an author as well. You
Yeah.
This man is busy, y'all. He's busy. So tell us about some of the books that you've written.
Yeah, so I have two books. My first book
Hmm.
being Credit is King, which I wrote in
Hmm.
2016. And essentially, Paula, it's a manual giving people that
Yeah.
basic knowledge and understanding of credit, how to maintain it, how to
Hmm.
repair it. I have a glossary at the end of the book to go over some of that industry jargon terminology again to make it a little bit more palatable for the average
Hmm.
person to pick up the book and feel comfortable reading it. And I actually
Yeah.
wrote the book to the point to where an eighth grader can pick it up and still understand it, because as I've learned,
Mm.
most people comprehend on about an eighth grade level, believe it or not,
Great
no matter
level.
what your level of education.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
most of the time once we graduate we never
Hmm.
pick up a book again. So I wanted to make it easier.
Yeah.
Plus my whole premise of what I do is to be able to get a curriculum in the schools, because we need to learn this information at an extremely early age
Ooh.
before we even get to college. So that's the main reason why I wrote Credit is King. Had no
Hmm.
expectation on, I didn't do it to say, hey, I wanted to sell, but the book sells like crazy. I'm still in amazement. And it's my business card. See, if I give a
Hmm.
person a business card, it may end up on the floor in the garbage. If I give
Right.
you a book, you're not throwing that away. And so that's my
Right.
way of leaving my stamp of impression on one. And then my second book, Full Time CEO, The Things They Don't Tell You, is a book that really chronicles my life and journey through entrepreneurship, but I'm talking about the unglamorized side of entrepreneurship. When we look on social media, we see the private jets and the vacations and the designer
Hmm.
clothing, but we don't know that the champions were made outside the ring. The lonely nights, the loss of friends. You may lose a relationship, you may lose a marriage on this journey, you may have some failures. I was sued civilly on this process, but it's really just about being consistently consistent, being
Hmm.
persistent, and working through, and more importantly, talking about the mindset shift that has to take place in order for
Hmm.
you to be successful in any area of your life. And so that's the second book, my book, Full
Yeah.
Time CEO.
As we're having this conversation, I'm just thinking, this man has been on a journey. He's got a testimony, and out of that has come a heart for people, and being able to be creative and like we said, use those gifts, use those talents to find different ways to reach the people of all ages. And we are going to trust and believe and speak over you right now that that
Thank you.
curriculum will get into the schools, because
Thank
I'm a former educator. I was a high school counselor,
you. Okay.
and throughout the school, throughout my journey as an educator, I realized that we educate our young people, the English, the math, the science, and social studies. There's nothing wrong with that. We educate them to go to college. At least this is my generation. Educate them, go to college, to come out to learn how to work for someone else. They have all these wonderful grades and accolades academically, but can't balance a checkbook. Well, nobody balances checkbook anymore. But you get my point,
Yeah. Can't
right?
balance the bank account.
Yes.
We can even say
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yes. They can't manage their finances, and they're in debt, and the credit cards are running up and all those sorts of things. So it's so imperative to have those skills back in the school. That's a whole nother conversation, but they used to be in the schools years ago. So I pray that you will be able to get that
Thank
curriculum
you.
into the schools. How can the audience stay connected and get connected? I hope, audience, you all took some notes. I told you. I hope you all took some notes. But if you didn't, you better write down right now, as he's going to share his social media and website with you.
Definitely. So thank you again for having me. But you can follow me across all social media
Mhm.
platforms at Mr. Will Roundtree. and that's Mr. Will Roundtree. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and I'm very active on there. So you send me a message, I'll reply back. My thing is again, eliminating excuses on saying, hey, I didn't know that. So I have a ton of free content on YouTube, several videos that went viral. So you can go in there and check those out. And then you can also go to my website to learn more just about the different products and services and courses and educational curriculums that we do have. And my website is WE, Whiskey Echo Management Services. So WeManagementServices.com. You can go there and you can actually go and book a free discovery call just to even see if we have anything that would be suiting for you. If you have any questions on credit, business, real estate, we offer a multitude of different products, no matter where you are within that journey, whether you're a novice or someone who's looking to expand your current knowledge base. So you definitely could follow us or go to our website.
We thank you so much. And we're praying that God continues to open the doors of opportunity for you to continue to share your knowledge and your wisdom with the community. Ladies and gentlemen, as our guest has said, there is no excuse. He is a testimony that there's no excuse, and the gifts and talents that God places inside of you to take those and use those to bless others. We thank you so much for joining us on this episode of My Journey with Paula G. Our underwriters, we thank you all so much for your support. Without you, we could not do what we do. And you all remember that the greatest conversation that you will ever have is the one that takes place in between your ears. What are you speaking to yourself? Is God a part of that conversation? And are you listening to his still small voice? Until next time, embrace the journey.
Hello, my name is Pastor Nathan Bartell, and I've been on this Christian journey for a long, long time. And I just want to tell you my testimony today, if you allow me. I've been traveling this road so long, sometimes feeling I can't go on. God has been there, he's been there every step of the way. Yes, up your journey I've had to climb, even with pain and heartache sometimes. But God has been there, he's really been there every step of the way. I want each and every one of you to know, every step, yes he has, he's been there every step, every step of the way. It's good to know, I realize he's been there for me every time. Every step. I want you to know right now that God has been there every step. I can't thank him enough for being there for me. You know, I feel good right now. Can I just sing a little bit more reality, if you don't mind? Listen. I've been up and I've been down, sometimes almost level to the ground. But God has been there. You know what? Every step of the way. Yes. Listen. A heavy load is hard to bear, but through it all, God showed me that he cared. Every step, he's been there. Every step of the way. I want everybody to know that he's been there. Yes, I do. Every step. Not one, not two. But you know what? Every step. Every. Anybody feel like I feel when you look back over your life and you see what God has brought you through? Help me say, every step. Not one, not two, not three, not four, but every step. Every little step. Every step of the way. I feel pretty good right now. I believe I'll sing this little part right here. Listen. brought me through. Anybody feel like counting the steps that he brought you through? Let's say it like this now. Listen.